I heard the fork scrape the plate before I heard my mother say it. The dining room smelled like roasted chicken and lemon cleaner, the kind she always used before company. My mom smiled across the table, soft and practiced, like she was about to offer dessert instead of take something from me. "We're passing the cottage his parents gave you over to your sister," she said. Just like that. No pause. No explanation. Her smile stayed in place, steady as if she'd rehearsed it in the mirror. "My name is Linda." And that sentence changed the shape of my life. For a second, nobody spoke. My sister chewed slowly, eyes down, like she already knew. My dad stared at his plate. I felt the room tilt, like the floor had shifted an inch to the left. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I didn't ask why. I just nodded once and took a sip of water that suddenly tasted like metal. If you've ever had a moment where something is taken from you so casually that you don't even know how to react, stay with me. And if this story hits close to home, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Sometimes knowing we're not alone helps more than we admit. That night wasn't loud. It was quiet. And quiet moments are where damage hides best. Our family dinners were always the same. Same long oak table. Same chipped bowl of salt in the middle. Same seating order that never changed. Dad at the head. Mom beside him. My sister, Karen, across from me. Me, always closest to the kitchen door. I'd learned not to read into that, but you notice patterns when you're the one always adjusting your chair. We lived in a small town outside Asheville, North Carolina. The cottage sat about 30 minutes away, tucked near a bend in the river. It had been given to me 5 years earlier by my late husband's parents, after he passed. They said they wanted me to have something steady. Something mine. That cottage wasn't fancy. White siding. A creaky porch. A kitchen window that rattled when the wind came through the trees. But it was safe. It was quiet. It was the only place where I didn't feel like I had to earn my spot. My sister never liked it. She called it wasted space once. Said it could be put to better use. I laughed it off back then. I shouldn't have. After my husband died, everything shrank. My world. My plans. My sense of time. The cottage became my anchor. I painted the walls myself. Planted herbs out back. Fixed a leaky sink with YouTube videos and stubborn patience. I worked remotely as a medical billing coordinator. Nothing glamorous. Just steady work, long hours, quiet focus. Karen, on the other hand, had 3 kids, a husband who bounced between jobs, and a way of making every crisis sound urgent and loud. My parents rushed to help her without question. "She needs us more," Mom used to say. I needed less because I asked for nothing. That became my role. The cottage wasn't a gift from my parents. They had no legal tie to it. It was mine. Or so I thought. I didn't know then how comfortable my family was becoming with rewriting ownership in their heads. Back at the table, my mom dabbed her lips with a napkin. "Karen's family needs more space," she said gently. "And the cottage isn't being fully used." I opened my mouth, then closed it. Dad cleared his throat. "It just makes sense," he added. "You're alone out there. Karen has kids." Alone. That word hung in the air like smoke. Karen finally looked up. She gave me a small, tight smile. Not grateful. Relieved. "We'll take good care of it," she said. I nodded again. My hands were folded in my lap, nails pressing into my palms. Nobody asked if I agreed. Nobody mentioned paperwork. They spoke like it was already done. I excused myself early. Said I was tired. In my car, I sat with my hands on the steering wheel and stared at the house I'd grown up in. Every light on. Warm. Familiar. I realized something then. They hadn't just decided. They assumed. And assumptions can be dangerous. The next morning, I drove to the cottage. The river was low. Leaves skittered across the porch. I unlocked the door and stepped inside. Everything was exactly where I left it. The chipped mug by the sink. The photo of my husband on the shelf. I sat on the couch and let the silence settle. I didn't call my parents. I didn't confront Karen. I did something else. I pulled out the folder I kept in the hall drawer. Deed papers. Insurance. Tax records. Everything tied to that property. That's when I noticed something strange. The property tax bill wasn't in my name. It hadn't been for 2 years. My stomach tightened. I drove straight to the county records office. The woman at the counter was kind, efficient. She tapped at her keyboard, then frowned. "Looks like there was a change filed," she said. "Quitclaim deed." My ears rang. Filed by who? She turned the screen slightly. "Your mother and father." I felt cold all over. They'd filed paperwork transferring the cottage into a family trust. Their signatures. My name nowhere. How is that possible? I asked. She shrugged softly. If the original deed holder signed. I didn't, I said. Her eyes met mine. Something shifted. Well, she said slowly, then we may have a problem. That was the moment something inside me stopped hoping they'd fix this if I just explained how hurt I was. Hope stepped aside. Resolve took its place. I didn't go home. I sat in my car and cried for exactly 3 minutes. Then I wiped my face and made a list. Step 1, lawyer. Step 2, freeze access. Step 3, let the truth speak louder than my anger. This is where I stopped pleading. If you're still with me right now, pause for a second. If you've ever had to choose between keeping peace and keeping yourself, tap like. It tells the algorithm, sure, but it also tells me you understand this crossroads. I called an attorney recommended by a coworker. A calm woman with a sharp voice and sharper questions. By the end of the call, she said, "Linda, what they did isn't just wrong. It's illegal." I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Relief. We moved quietly. Filed a challenge. Put a lien on any transfer. Sent formal notices. No shouting. No family group texts. Karen found out first. She called me, voice shaking with anger. "You're doing this on purpose," she said. "Mom's heart can't take this stress." I breathed in slowly. Then she shouldn't have forged my signature. Silence. My parents called next. Dad tried to reason. Mom cried. "You're tearing the family apart," she said. I didn't raise my voice. "You already did. I'm just documenting it." The court date was set. They asked me to drop it. To be reasonable. I declined. The courtroom was small. Wood-paneled. Quiet. Karen sat between my parents, holding Mom's hand. She wouldn't look at me. The judge reviewed the documents. Asked simple questions. Did you sign this, Linda? No. Did you authorize the transfer? No. The ruling was quick. The deed was reversed. The trust nullified. Fraud noted on record. My parents stared straight ahead. Karen's face drained of color. I didn't smile. Justice doesn't need a victory lap. Afterward, nobody spoke to me for weeks. Family holidays came and went. I spent them at the cottage, listening to the river, cooking small meals for one. I changed the locks. Updated everything. Eventually, my mom sent a message. I didn't think you'd go that far. I typed back, then erased it. Finally, I sent one line. I didn't think you would either. The cottage is still mine. But more than that, my life is quieter now. Cleaner. I stopped showing up where I wasn't respected. I stopped explaining myself. Karen found another place. My parents adjusted. Or didn't. That's not my responsibility anymore. Here's what I learned. Silence isn't weakness. It's preparation. Boundaries aren't cruel. They're necessary. And family doesn't mean access without consent. If this story made you think of someone, share it with them. And if you've ever had to choose yourself when nobody clapped for you, subscribe. These stories matter because they remind us we're allowed to protect what's ours. I'm Linda. And this was the night my mother smiled, and I stopped asking for permission.